is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with another video. Woo! Dwight Howard and the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that he got traded to. He was very excited and very happy going to the Lakers. He one of the best big men in the NBA history. And on top of that, mostly as we done seen with AD and Dwight Howard and Shaquille O'Neal, Will Chamberlain, George, Mike, and the great centers love to play in LA, and LA has a way to find and get them anyway. They're going to find a way to continue to get the great big man. And you can make a case, and I wouldn't disagree, that Anthony Davis is the best center in the NBA. I think he's better than Jokic. I think he's better than Embiid because he's more versatile than Embiid. He can do the same things that Embiid can do. He's just a better shooter, a better free throw shooter, and he's just more dominant offensively. So if you look at it like that, Dwight Howard at one point was the best center in the NBA, especially in his Orlando. Remember, he got traded from Orlando to the Lakers, and he was the best center in the NBA hands down at that point. And they also had DeMarcus Cousins, who just got injured, but they actually technically signed him, which was one of the best big men in the league. Even coming off his Achilles, he still was solid, but he was actually the best big man in the league about 3-4 years ago before he teamed up with AD and he blew up. AD ended up taking the best center spot now. But Dwight Howard was at one point on the Lakers. It didn't work out as well. He played with Kobe, Paul Gasol. They didn't have the right pieces that fit, and they didn't have the chemistry. They was kind of figuring it out the whole entire season. Plus, they was going through a plethora of injuries. They was going through a lot of growing pains, and Mike D'Antoni just couldn't figure out how to use all his players together and make them good. I kept telling you guys that whole year that the Lakers will make the playoffs, and they did. Something that the Laker fans don't give Dwight Howard credit is Kobe Bryant went down, and they had to win every single game going into the playoffs. And Dwight Howard was able to anchor that defense and rebound and dominate some games to help them get that spot in the playoffs. Even though they didn't win the series, they actually made the playoffs when a lot of time they looked like they never get it right. And they was able to get it right those last 2 weeks that thrusted them into the playoffs. But remember, Kobe went down before the season was actually over, and they still had to win a couple more games to get that spot clinched. And Dwight Howard was the best player on the court at that particular time because Kobe was gone and Steve Nash was done. So you have to give Dwight Howard a lot of credit for being able to hold it down and help the Lakers make it to the playoffs when it looked like they would never get it right. They actually was able to get it right even though Kobe went down. They still made the playoffs that year, and that would have been one of the biggest and most disappointing seasons in NBA history if that team didn't make the playoffs. They was all the way hyped. They had the advantage that the Heat didn't have. They had inside. They had somebody that can dominate the boards and be tough, and they had Kobe Bryant playing some of the best basketball of his entire career at that point in time when it comes to efficiency. So they could have been scary if they would have figured it out. Problem is they never was able to do it and never could stay healthy enough to get on the same page. But what I will say is Dwight Howard was supposed to he got traded and he was supposed to get bought out. And I thought it was pretty interesting that he hasn't been bought out yet. The team that he's on currently, I thought that they could use him in a weird kind of way because they do need some backup minutes and somebody that can really put defense on the board for them because they don't really have great defenders really at those positions. And I do wonder for the Memphis Grizzlies, the team that he was on, was they even thinking about really keeping him because you would have thought he would have been waived by now, but he hasn't officially been waived at all. And when you look at the 9 games that he played in Washington, he was still able to give a productive 25 minutes and 12.8 points and 9.2 rebounds a game when he did play. Not only that, even when he played in Atlanta, he was able to give 13 points and he was able to get 12 rebounds. And even in Charlotte, where he got traded to the Wizards, got bought out and got to the Wizards, he was able to still give Kimba and them 16 points, 12 rebounds, and one block a game. So it isn't like Dwight Howard can't play or he's this terrible player. It just people don't like his personality and people don't like him being on the team because of how he is as a player and the fact that he is so whiny and demanding is what I heard. Honestly, I always had the utmost respect for Dwight Howard. I always thought he was dominant. I always thought that he was going to be a Hall of Famer. I still think that he's definitely going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame. I just didn't see his career turning out the way it was. It seemed like in Orlando, he was getting better and better and better. And then the back injury happened, and nothing was ever the same. Literally, after he got that back surgery, and even when he got traded to the Lakers, he ended up messing up his shoulder. When he got to Houston, he ended up messing up his knees. And we know that Dwight Howard, his game is predicated on athleticism. So when your back is going out and your knees is going out like he did in Houston, it's really not much you can do defensively if you don't have the mobility and the foot speed and the lateral quickness to really recover, protect the paint, and block shots. This is a guy that won 3 straight Defensive Player of the Years, and this is a guy that's not even known as one of the better defenders the last couple years in the entire NBA, even at that center spot. So that's something that happened very, very quickly. Even if you look at Houston, Houston was never known as a great defensive team, even though that they had Dwight Howard there for multiple seasons. They was never known as a great defensive team. And when he got to the Rockets, he had a huge role on the team. But he started to diminish as he started missing more games and they started going more towards James Harden. He ended up becoming more of a role player, and then they felt that they was better off going Clint Capella because he was younger and he can do a lot of the similar things to Dwight Howard. That Dwight Howard became a guy that was highly coveted to replaceable. And that's where Dwight Howard is right now. He's a guy that you can have him on your roster if you want to, but do you really want to have him on your roster? And that's why I thought it was kind of interesting that the Los Angeles Lakers really are telling them that they would like to have him on his team, even though we all know that LeBron James has always have loved and respected Dwight Howard throughout his whole career, even getting beat by Dwight Howard in the Eastern Conference Finals, so Dwight Howard could go to the NBA Finals. He was actually able to beat a prime LeBron and put him out the playoffs, which was actually kind of shocking because people thought that the Cavaliers was going to win that series, but it really didn't happen. And Dwight Howard had an excellent game that closed them out in that game 6. So um, things happen. And when you look at this roster, they don't have that much size outside of JaVale and Anthony Davis. But if you really think about it, Anthony Davis is going to start. You don't want to start Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, but you also want to have somebody if JaVale or Anthony Davis get injured. You still want somebody to come in that can make an impact. Besides, this is a team that had Tyson Chandler come in last year as a pivotal piece in the beginning, and he actually helped them win a couple games with his defense and his rebounding. And Dwight Howard can have that same effect, a guy that can give you 15 to 25 minutes, still rebound the ball at a great level for those minutes, and also give you a guy that's going to go out there and really try to play his hardest because his career is dwindling. The injuries are still piling up. Teams are starting to give him a chance, and now they don't want to give him a chance. And he's been bouncing around the league the last couple years, and this could be the last 3-4 years of Dwight Howard's career. At the end of the day, being a mercenary, being able to just make a roster and just become a role player, a 7th, 8th, or a 9th guy on the bench. And the saddest part about it is Dwight Howard is not really even that old, which is unfortunate too because he's getting cast out as a guy that has no talent and really can't make an impact. I know a lot of guys that are saying that even in the media. Dwight Howard is washed up. He's done. He can't really make a positive contribution to a team. And when you start hearing stuff like that, that means your career is coming to an end. And that's not what you really want to hear if you're Dwight Howard, still trying to make a roster and still wanting to play, which we done seen Carmelo go out the same way, and he missed the whole season, and he hasn't even got picked up yet. At least Dwight Howard is technically still on the roster, and he technically is still wanted by another team, which will be the Lakers in this circumstance. But it shows you how low things have got, and it shows you how long and dominant that LeBron and Kobe's have been. It's so hard to stay at an elite level for so long, especially when you're playing so far and deep into the playoffs and you're going to Team USA in the Olympics, and then you're coming back for another season. Then that don't even account that you got to fight injuries, and that don't account how serious the injury may be, and it just take a beating and a toll on your body at the end of the day. And Dwight Howard is a guy that came out of high school, went to the NBA Finals, went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple times, went to the Western Conference Finals with the Rockets with Josh Smith and James Harden and Kevin McHale, and now it's just taking more and more of a total on his body, and it's just beating him up to the point where he's not even a starting caliber guy. If you literally signed Dwight Howard, will he even be a starter at this point? I thought Washington was an opportunity for him to prove himself, playing with a pass first point guard in John Wall that really made Gortat look very good. And Gortat looked good for years, but I felt like Dwight Howard was an upgrade over Martian Gortat, and that didn't really happen. He ended up messing his whole season up due to injury, and he only played 9 games, which is unfortunate, and it really made his career look even worse because of the injuries and the fact that he really wasn't that great with Washington when he did play. So I really want to see if this really going to go down and if Dwight Howard really going to make this roster and if he can really find a way to show teams that he can still make an impact even though he can't really space the floor, even knock down a mid-range jumper at this point, or let alone the three, and the fact that he still is a bad free throw shooter, one of the worst in the league. So I really want to see how this plays out, and I really want to see Dwight Howard mentality going into this season and seeing that he does have an opportunity to play for a team that wants him and see if he can really change and make the best out of it and last a couple more years in the NBA. But for right now, he still is a Memphis Grizzly until waived. And if he does get picked up by the Lakers have been trying to pick up as many decent players as they can because their goal is to win a title while they have LeBron. And they already wasted the year last year because they didn't make it to the playoffs. The time clock is ticking for the Lakers. Do you think the Lakers should pick up Dwight Howard? Do you think he's done? Do you think he's finished? Do you think he's washed up? Or do you think he can still be a guy that can give you fouls and give you great rim protection to a certain um, in certain situations and still give you great rebound? He still is a great rebounder. He still is a guy that has the size and enough mobility to guard the position, but he's no longer the defender. He's no longer the dominant force, and we know that he's not a post-up player. So you're really going to use him as a guy that's going to set a lot of screens to free people up and be able to give Anthony Davis a break. And if either Anthony Davis or JaVale McGee go down, you're still going to have Dwight Howard that can come in there and give you quality and solid minutes coming off that bench for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that might be worth a couple million alone because you have nobody that can really do that outside of JaVale. And if he goes down, you have nobody at all. And that's a situation you don't really want to find yourself in. And that's why the Lakers are trying to find somebody that can fill it right now. And Dwight Howard is the candidate as he is supposed to be bought out by the Grizzlies. Let me know what you guys think, though, about this certain situation that's going on with the Lakers and Dwight being mutually interested. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.